how do I get from this to this? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can smash that 50-mile barrier with some easy tips and tricks. From getting yourself off the couch to getting you riding, eating and training right, and then on to tackling that big ride. First, let's have a look at why we're sitting on the couch thinking about cycling, but not outside riding our bikes. Often we see footage of races on GCN Plus and the pros training really hard, and the thought of training can be really intimidating. But it doesn't have to be. First step, set yourself a goal. Now you want one that will require you to train, but it's not totally out of reach. Now I'm a firm believer that with a few weeks preparation, anyone, yes, I mean anyone, can complete 50 miles or 80 kilometers. Actually saying that, I don't think my dad's totally convinced.
I don't think I'd ride 50 miles. I haven't ridden a bike really properly for over 25 years. And the mere thought of thinking about riding 50 miles gives me the shivers. I haven't done anything like this for such a long time, and I don't think my legs are up to it at the moment.
Whatever your goal is, write it down and think about when you want to achieve the goal by, like I've done here. Well, I kind of want to be a legend.
Be realistic.
Okay, maybe reach 10,000 likes?
Yeah, possible.
There you go. Anyway, I truly believe that over an 8 to 12 week period, you can make a transformation and you can complete most goals. And it also doesn't feel like your training is going on forever. Yeah, give this video a big thumbs up and hopefully I can make 10,000 likes. I'm assuming this point you have a working bike and some cycling kit, but don't let this be a stumbling block. Getting a new fresh pair of shoes really does create some motivation, but you don't have to spend the earth to create that little bit of motivation. Getting a nice pair of fresh socks will really go a long way, and trust me, when you have a sock for every single month and every single ride, you've got no excuses. Talking of kit, I think I need to get kitted up myself. There's nothing like some new kit to give you that extra boost. Now, every step we're taking is designed to boost your motivation. And the next step is absolutely crucial. This is all about writing a training plan. The reason for doing this is all about consistency. Now, consistency is absolutely key. If you have a plan in front of you, you can be consistent in your riding, your sleeping, your eating, and your working habits too. That all play a vital part in you completing your goal.
That's all very well, Hank, but what really worries me was what is actually in the training plan. I don't know what you've got in mind, but I hope it's not too tough.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question, Dad. Now, I'm assuming you've clicked on this video, so the goal that you've got in mind is 50 miles and 80 kilometers. Now, I would suggest you're looking at 3 to 4 rides per week. Now, that can be outside on the roads, or that can be in the indoor trainer. You also want to make sure you've got some rest days in between so you're nice and recovered. But like I say, the key is consistency, making sure you're going out and trying to tick off those rides, whether you're doing 10 or 15 miles or you're doing 30 miles. Right, I better not keep talking about it and jabbering on about it. I better get out on the bike myself. Right, let's get out on the road. Woo! You want to try and include some long rides into your training, maybe one long ride every week. And you want to build this up. So you want to aim to add around about 5 miles every fortnight. Now, a good plan or a good template to sit at is to aim for about 30 to 35 miles, about 3 to 4 weeks out from your goal. And then you want to look at completing 40 to 45 miles around about a fortnight before the big 50-miler. Now, this will give you confidence and hopefully give you the best chance of completing that goal. Now, you don't have to smash yourself every single ride. Now, simply being consistent with your riding will bring you noticeable gains to your fitness. Now, the idea behind building up gradually hopefully will prevent you from getting any injuries, any knee pain or lower back pain. A good way to keep motivation nice and high is to ride with people, a cycling friend or some cycling buddies close by, so that you can find that training that bit easier instead of going out day in, day out on your own. But the holy grail is finding a friend that wants to take on this challenge with you. That way you can motivate each other and you can eke out that competitive aspect too. Now, if you want to ride with someone fitter or stronger than you or more experienced, don't be intimidated by this. This only allows you to gain more experience from them when you're riding. So don't be ashamed to ask any questions. I'm sure they'll be happy to help. Dad, fancy a ride with me?
Look, Hank, it's all very well you riding with me, but you really got to understand, you've got to ride at my pace, not your pace. You know, I've ridden with you before, and you go off like a rocket and leave me behind. You've got to stay with me all the time. Team effort, that's what it's all about.
So your 50 miles, your 80K is fast approaching. You've done all the hard work, the training, the sleeping, the eating, but there are a few more tips and tricks that I can give you to help your goal of 50 miles become a reality. So, listen close. The first thing you need to think about is where you're going to do your 50 miles or your 80K, planning a route. Now think carefully about planning a route. Think about the roads you're riding. I would tend to do some local roads that you know, that makes sure you're comfortable with the route you're doing and you're not going to get lost or anything. The other thing is to think about the terrain. Remember, the hillier, the harder. So if you want to do a more flattish route, to find it that bit easier, do so. Or you want to challenge yourself and do a really hilly route, that's okay too. But we like to use a planning app like Komoot to help us with that. That way you can work on giving it turn-by-turn directions, and it gives you all the stats and elevation profiles, etc., that you need so you can actually pace the day or the ride. Right, I guess now's the point where I show you Dad trying to work out how to plan his route. Yeah.
Right, I'm looking for a 50-mile route around the local area. Now, it needs to be quite flat. I don't want any more elevation than about 100 meters. I'm looking for a nice pub to have a lunch in, and so that's got to be about halfway, and then back home, again, along the flat bit, if I can find one.
The next thing is to check your equipment and your kit. The last thing you want to do is be hampered with mechanicals or punctures. Yes, we have all been there. And trust me, that is seriously deflating. So try and get into the habit of checking over your bike. Starting off with tyres, make sure they're inflated and you've got no holes or wear and tear in them. Your gears, your chain, and your brakes. Making sure everything runs nice and smoothly will only help you complete your goal. Right, let's get back on the bike. It's also imperative that we keep well fueled. Like a car, we need fuel to keep ourselves going. So make sure you have a good meal before and that you're eating during the ride. Now this ride is going to take you a few hours. So make sure you bring some bars with you, some real foods, banana, flapjacks, or some sport nutrition products. But not forgetting your liquids too. Couple of bottles is going to be important. Hydration is key, and maybe add some carbohydrate powder or some electrolytes in there too. Keeping well fueled will only help you achieve that goal. Pacing your ride. Now this is something we all get wrong and something that only takes practice to make perfect. But remember, this is an endurance challenge. It's not a sprint. So when you start your ride, ride within yourself. Don't get carried away and smash it over all the climbs, waste the energy. Let the effort come to you. Don't go hunting for the effort. And that way you'll finish nice and strong. And lastly, stick with it. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Yes, I always say, the tougher the challenge, the better the success, or the sweeter the success. So go, give it your all, and I wish you all the very, very best. Now, I genuinely believe that with the right training, with the right preparation, anyone can do 50 miles or 80 kilometers. I even reckon my 60-plus-year-old dad will manage 50 miles and 80 kilometers. And if you want to see that video, if we want to make that video, if you want to see Dad get off the couch and onto the bike to complete 50 miles, then let's try and get this video to 10,000 likes. If it is 10,000 likes, I promise you, I will persuade Dad to do 50 miles to show you that anything is possible. Well, I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comment section below if it's helped you, and I'll see you, you guessed it, in the next video.